All right, episode one
Episode one.
of
do it.
Scam. So basically, if you're joining us for the first time, if you're starting from the beginning here, you can support the podcast by following on Twitter at scam_podcast. You can check out the video. If you're listening to the audio and you want to check out the video, it's Scam Podcast on YouTube. And if you want to email us, it's podcastscam@gmail.com. And it's going to be a community-driven podcast, so feel free to share anything you want us to talk about. Email us with any interesting questions or concepts you have, and we'll be willing to talk about. My name's Josh. This is Malcolm. Probably should have done that first off. We're going to be your hosts on here. And, we really, we want to give you guys what you want. We want to tailor it towards what you guys are interested in, because we're basically just going to bullshit and talk here. It's also, I should have mentioned that too, probably not best suited for young children. There will be cursing and some questionable material discussed on this.
All questionable material.
Pretty much, yeah. And also, if you're listening from the future and you just decide to go back and hop on episode one, hopefully it's a pandemic-free future. It is July 2020 right now, and we're dealing with the lockdown. As you can see, we're on Zoom. I'm in Florida. Malcolm is in parts unknown. Let's just get right into it, because I have something to talk about right away. So I want to start by saying I don't want to upset anybody. This isn't meant, it's funny, but not because of the people in the story. It's more funny because of the situation that I'm in. That's what makes it funny. So if you're offended, you shouldn't be offended. But if you are, it's not intended to be mean. It's honestly just a ridiculous situation. So this is what I'm going through here. So I get a phone call about a friend of the family who have a son that's about the same age as me, right? And the reason I got the phone call was like, hey, we really want you to see if you can like reach out and help him, because and I've known this kid for most of my life. He's a good guy, very nice. He has like this horrible, crippling cocaine addiction right now. Okay, are you with me, Malcolm?
Jesus.
Okay, so
More
so he has this horrible cocaine addiction.
having that said, is there any not crippling cocaine addictions, or
I don't know. This is what I'm being told.
Benefit people, like this guy has a real beneficial cocaine addiction.
Sometimes, hey, who knows? Maybe for this guy, this might be like one of those cases where it might actually be a positive, because this person that we're talking about, he's like a little bit older than me. He has Down syndrome. So
Jesus Christ.
This is what's confusing, right? Because one, how is he getting the cocaine? Two, how is he paying for the cocaine? And three, who is selling a guy with Down syndrome cocaine? I mean, it's confusing because there's a lot of variables here that aren't adding up. But the way I get brought into it is I was asked to like Magnum PI the situation and find out who's selling it to try to stop it. And I don't know.
I'll be honest, bro. You sound like kind of an ableist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just
saying that disabled people can't do cocaine, dude. I don't know, man.
Well,
I'm pretty sure that's in the ADA. So
yeah. I'm pretty sure if you look into it far enough, there's a whole paragraph about how you're allowed to do whatever drugs you want. Yeah. But it's crazy. Like seriously though. So like, cocaine's not cheap, right? So he has to pay for it somehow. He doesn't have a job, not that I know of. How did he try it for the first time?
You sure he's not a Walmart greeter?
No, I'm positive. He's not like able to hold a job, I would say. He's pretty far down the spectrum there, but he is really nice. He's always been a really nice guy. And people with Down syndrome, they like
wait. So he's like a hyperactive person with Down syndrome.
Yeah, I've never seen him on cocaine, so I'm not sure how he reacts to it, but I would assume it's not good. And I would assume it's probably pretty dangerous, because like a person with like a clear head, you've seen like people take cocaine and then they go off the deep end, like Robert Downey Jr. was walking around Beverly Hills naked, breaking into people's homes. So this guy is has like less than perfect mind, depending on how you're looking at it. And I just don't understand. And then they want me to go in there and try to amend it. I think it's past that. Like, I think you just gotta let him do it, right? You just gotta let him run its course.
Let it run its course.
Yeah. I don't know. Christ. But what it reminded me of is, have you ever heard, there was a documentary on Netflix for a while. It's called Jefftowne. Have you seen it?
Damn, that sounds familiar.
All right. So it's like somewhere in the South. It's from like the 90s. It's kind of old, but there's this kid who has Down syndrome, and he's like terrorizing this town. He like this isn't funny, but he's works
terrorizing the town.
He works like a movie theater. He like takes heroin. All right, hold on. Let me pull up the details of this. So it used to be on Netflix. It's not anymore. And I believe it was like pretty like well renowned when it came out, because I guess it was pretty popular. But
sounds familiar.
I swear to God, if you go to Wikipedia and type in Jefftowne, this is the description, okay? Filmmaker Daniel Krause profiles Jefftowne, a 40-ish beer and pornography aficionado with Down syndrome.
So that's what I was gonna bring up. I was gonna say, what is this guy solving, like, complex math problems, like he's some kind of savant or something? But I guess he just guided it all towards porn.
Yeah, porn, wrestling, and heroin, and then
pretty
like he's in. Yeah, pretty much. And he's like in love with a girl that he works with in the movie. I can't really remember. I saw it so long ago. But it's crazy that, like, again, the thing is that in the movie, in the documentary, he like does heroin. So it's like, who's selling? Like, I just don't get it. Like, how do you get in a situation? Do you meet the guy at his house? Like this, how does he get to you? It's just like, there's so much going on. Yeah, it's not my cousin. This person's not related to me at all. But
this guy trying to throw us off the trail. It's cocaine.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, it's. Well, all right. So the other thing about it that is like confusing as well is like
Jefftowne. It's one word. That's his
Jefftowne with the E. Yeah, Jefftowne with the E.
His first name.
His name is Jefftowne.
His first name.
It's Jeff. Yeah.
Oh no! On Wikipedia, it's one word.
Yeah, that's the name of the movie. The movie is one word.
But his name is like 2 words.
His name is 2 words. They thought it was clever to make it one word.
Did this guy make his own fucking name? Fucking A, dude.
But so there can't be like I hope that
Down syndrome, obesity, alcoholism, and circulation problems. All right.
I would assume, from doing all the heroin, you probably have circulation problems. Yeah. He can't be putting that's the other thing. How does he even know to put the needle in the correct way to do heroin? Someone's got to be helping him. On
Maybe
top of that,
squirts him in his mouth,
his eyeball or something. Think about it. I've never done heroin. You've never done heroin, as far as I know. But it's a pretty complicated process from what I've seen in movies. Yeah. You have the spoon and
I don't know how complicated. I mean, junkies do it, so my father.
That's true. Oh yeah, well, also this guy Jeff is doing it. So I mean, where can it be? So I don't know. It's
the whole synopsis of the movie on Wikipedia is 3 sentences.
I told you. It's
Town died May 4th. Didn't quite make it to Cinco de Mayo. He looked to be 59.
He died. Jefftowne died.
Jefftowne is dead.
He's no longer with us. That's sad, man.
Unincorporated.
Poor guy. Well, you know what though, and again, I was touching on that, is like people with Down syndrome find like joy in everything. I would strive to be as happy as some of those people, because the littlest things bring them like the most joy. So he lived a full life. He was.
I'll come over there and beat the shit out of you, dude. Make you retarded.
Yeah, but again, so enough on that. I hope that my family friend gets the help that he needs, but it won't be from me. Like I'm not entering myself in that situation. Think about like if drunk friends, when you're trying to like have that like intervention, like how they might react, and then take someone with Down syndrome and try to take their cocaine away. I don't want to be in that.
You got that,
I know. Yeah.
That TikTok strength.
Yeah, might be TikTok. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's like being in like a cage with a gorilla and trying to take his food away. So.
Yeah. So you mentioned something in the beginning about the future, and it was funny because I was going to ask you. I was going to say, how do you feel about digging your, starting a podcast? Everything's on the public record, right? So you're digging your future grave, getting fired from your future job, and becoming a future racist. So, I just wanted to see how you felt about that, being that you probably didn't even know you're racist, but you are now.
But you'll find out. Yeah, we're going to find out how racist, homophobic, what else? How much we hate women. All that's coming. We already started it with the Down syndrome community. We're already going to – we're going to get canceled day one if anybody even watches or listens to this. So,
exactly.
What's wild is, like, I was thinking about it. I was like, I said at the beginning, like, you're coming back to listen to episode 1, maybe, and you're from the future. Maybe it's like one of our children years from now. That's like, what was my dad up to back in 2020 when things were crazy? And that's going to be the first story they hear, which is interesting, I guess.
I guess, but in the future they could be like, Down syndrome. Like these, they probably think we had Down syndrome because we couldn't solve the problem. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, for all we know, Down syndrome people could be ruling the world by then. You know what I mean? Everyone has Down syndrome. That's just how it goes.
In this fucked up world, and how many conspiracies I believe, probably.
That's gonna be also. I didn't touch on that. That's gonna be like a major part of this show. Is Malcolm has gone deep down the conspiracy rabbit hole, and we're going to take the journey with him. I'm going to be the voice of reason on most stuff.
But are you the voice of reason?
I think I'm the voice of the person that doesn't want to be losing his mind at 4:30 in the morning.
That wants to be retarded so they don't have to believe anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, a couple things. Have you seen that picture of Mark Zuckerberg?
Which one?
Please tell me you know what I'm talking about.
Drinking water?
No, there's a new one of him surfing. Type in Mark Zuckerberg surfing. Anybody listening at home, feel free to do the same. It should be the first thing that pops up. And zoom in on his are you looking at it?
Oh, what?
Zoom in on his face.
Oh. They drew a fucking mime. Oh, is that his real face?
Yes. He wore that much sunblock. He looks like the Joker. Like, what is he doing? He's also wearing a sweatshirt at the beach, which is whatever. You don't want to get tanned. Like, he really doesn't want to get any vitamin D wearing that much sunscreen on your face. It's wild. But he does.
Maybe his robot plastic is just shining through his skin.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I'll say about the picture, because there's a lot going on there, is he does have a wagon on him. I didn't realize he was packing that much ass. Mark Zuckerberg is he's working out or something. He's doing.
That's not a real surfboard though. That's a surfboard with the
motor.
He's got the motor. Yeah. I bet you he's driving it with his brain.
Yeah, it would be surprising.
Yeah, so I typed that into Mark Zuckerberg surfing DuckDuckGo. The second picture is a mime like this, dude. Okay.
Yeah, they're already on it, man. They're already on it.
That's a real fucking freak, dude.
The internet works fast. Yeah, when he was on that, was it like Senate or whatever it was, the hearing he was doing, and he was just giving those like really weird.
Sipping on water, dude. All right, dude.
See, I don't believe in all the reptilian conspiracy theories, but if you like took everything else away and just showed me that and be like, yeah, this guy's a reptilian, I'd be like,
yeah.
Probably.
The ironic part is like, he started Facebook because he was so weird and he wanted to get closer to people, and now he's even weirder, dude.
Yeah.
He's like less approachable.
Also, they tried to make him like real weird, but Jesse Eisenberg tried to make him real weird in that Social Network movie, and he is, but like he's even more bizarre in real life. He's just
what I'm saying, dude. He's
way off the deep end, and like, and we were talking about it privately, me and you.
Does he have a wife? Is he dating somebody?
He's got to be married. But me and you were talking about it last night about Elon Musk, and I said I think he's just a big dork that has a bunch of money, and he's probably really smart, smarter than me for sure. And
I think he's an alien. That's just my personal opinion.
You could convince me of that. You could convince me of that.
He's a weirdo, dude.
He is, and he has like that weird like a motionless face, no matter what he's talking about.
Yeah.
It's always the same, just like his cheeks don't move when he talks. And
I personally think after I seen him on Rogan the first time, I was like, I think he got dropped off, and they were like, "Find your way back, dude. Figure it out."
And that's what
and
SpaceX is.
Then you have SpaceX, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
it's also weird, like you said, with the SpaceX rocket, the satellites going up last night, and then the massive internet outage across the country.
Did you look into that Steinberg, that Austin Steinberg dude? He's a weirdo too. He's out there. But he's smart. He's smart as shit, dude.
Well, all these guys are. Zuckerberg.
I know, and that's Elon. Like, it's like, are they just playing me? It's like, I don't know, dude.
See, that's the thing with Musk. I think Musk, he plays along a little bit. I know he does for a fact because he posts stupid like Rick and Morty things on Twitter.
Like, he's launching military shit into the air. This dude knows some shit that nobody knows. You know what I'm saying? They don't just let you shoot shit into space, dude. That just doesn't just happen.
I think it does, though, because that one guy did, like, kill himself trying to see if the Earth was flat. So you can technically...
Yeah, because...
They do technically let you just shoot shit in space.
When you're an idiot and they know you're going to die, go ahead, dude.
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah. If you could do actual damage and you had, $1 billion, they'd probably be like, actually, I didn't know this in Cocoa until I went there when I was in Florida, like, a month ago. They have that Blue Origin, that Bezos. You heard about that?
Oh, yeah. That's coming... That's coming soon.
You go to Cocoa, dude, there's like 3-4 buildings, giant buildings that they're building spacecraft and shit in.
Yeah. I think it's like it's interesting because the big space race in the 60s to get to the moon, they had all these people coming up with ideas and what rockets to use and different contracts. People were making money left and right, and they really haven't seen, we talked about this last night too, they really haven't seen a lot of money and funding going towards NASA. And now it's like this, I think people are real. I think it's been 50 years since they went to first went to the moon. And I think that money now, people are starting to realize that maybe this planet isn't long for us the way we're treating it. And
yeah, well,
it's look at other options. That's the thing that scares me. That's the thing that scares me though, with like Elon Musk, because they seem pretty like there's not, they make it seem like there's a shortage of time. Like they're moving along very quickly with how everything's going. And if you're right about him knowing some shit, that's the scary thought. They're like, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
And they're making, he's making this mesh network of internet, which is even crazier, to provide internet to the whole world.
Well, also, just you spoke about him being on Rogan. He was like all over the place. Like he has so much that he's thinking about, and who knows how much of that is actually going to happen. Didn't the railway in California, didn't that get scrapped? The one that was like the underground, you put your car goes underground and it shoots you in like a tube.
Dude, I think he finished that. But I think it was in Vegas.
Vegas?
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
That podcast, Rogan, he just kept asking him, like, how do you dig a hole? He's like, you just dig it. How do you dig a tunnel? Like, I just dig it. It's fucking,
it's like Joe Dirt said. Life's garden, dig it,
Boring Company completes digging. Yeah, they completed it.
Is it operational? Like you can get in it with your car right now?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I'm almost positive Jay Leno was in it.
You know what? I'm thinking of? It was that
you're thinking of the Hyperloop.
Yeah, the Hyperloop to get to Miami. Was it New York, Miami, or Atlanta, Miami? And like
there was like a couple choices, Orlando, Miami. They were gonna do one from Fort Collins to Pueblo, which would be dope as fuck.
Yeah, that would be good.
Or no. Okay, sorry. The original one was DIA straight to the mountains, 6 minutes.
That's wild.
6 minutes.
How long is it by car?
2.5 hours at least.
6 minutes?
6 minutes, dude.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy here. We have in Orlando and Central Florida, we have the Sunrail now. That we didn't have like a motor transportation like that.
Wasn't that thing a bust?
No, it works great. My parents take it to work every day. Saves them a ton of money. It's cheap. It's like $1 to get on. It drops them off right by their house. They go straight. There's one right where their job is. There's a drop off there. I've ridden it a few times just to get to.
That goes to Miami, though, right?
No, it goes to Point Siena is where it stops right now, but it's eventually going to go to Tampa and up to Sanford. That's like the route there. But there's one like every 15 minutes. It's actually pretty legit. The only thing that's sketchy, right? Like, when you go to like the subway or somewhere, there's like like the turnstiles and you pay and you have like a card, but you can literally just walk on the Sunrail. So anyone can just walk up, not pay, and just get on.
Well, that's what I was saying. They were saying that not like necessarily a bus, but they weren't making any money off of it.
No, I can't see how. But the thing is, no one was taking trains. It was already an Amtrak rail, so no one was taking trains anyway. No one takes trains anymore. You know how expensive? It's outrageous.
Yeah, because
you know how expensive it is to like take a train. They have this service that you can like put your car on the train and take it from here in Orlando to Washington D.C. so you don't have to drive. It's $2,000, and it's probably longer than driving. So it's not like you're saving time. It doesn't make any sense.
My mother, she went to Jersey, and I don't know if she took a train from like Jersey to Mass or maybe even to Florida. She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take the train," but she said it was terrible, dude.
Yeah, I bet. You're stopping like every hour.
Yeah, dude,
it's crammed, it stinks, it's hot.
Yeah, this ain't fucking, Eastern Europe, dude, where they got all these hyper trains and they're super nice and shit. No, dude.
Well, not only that, it's not that, you go all across Europe in the distance from Orlando to Massachusetts, basically. You know what I mean? It's not that many.
Those fucking train lines are transporting oil and hobos, dude. I mean,
yeah. Or people who are they're trying to get out of whatever state they're in and using some false identity to get the hell out.
Exactly, dude.
You don't want to be on the train with them.
I went on a train in Malaysia from the airport to Kuala Lumpur, and it was fucking.
I see you.
Nice as fuck. It was super fast, completely clean, comfortable chairs, and it's just pathetic, dude, what we have here. But
so, all right, so I don't know a lot about Asia's politics. So a lot of those different countries have
Asians, huh?
Yeah. Asia's politics.
Here we go, dude. Give them ammo.
This is something. Well, this is something I saw that was interesting, and I know you've been to Thailand, and I'm assuming it's not the same because the Chinese have different laws. But so to get a license plate to be able to drive your car, you have to get on a waiting list, and they only give out 3 license plates per year.
In China?
In China. Because of the
emissions. I don't doubt that.
They don't want any more cars on the road. So if you buy a car, there's a good chance that you may never be able to drive it ever. So
yeah, probably.
So
I think everything's super regulated there. Thailand is a whole different ballgame. I mean, you could do whatever you want, dude.
Oh yeah, look, you have the face of someone who looks like he did do whatever he wants.
No, it's just they have the highest. You can look it up. They have the highest per capita death rate in car fatalities. Because they just their stance on it is, if you're dumb enough to do it.
Speaking of stereotypes, me getting canceled.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, that's a real stereotype. My wife's Thai and she has no idea how to drive a vehicle, so that's not just hyperbole. She literally does not know how.
Well, you could. Well, when you'll be able to teach her, and maybe. That's how. If you don't, maybe that's how you'll die is by her driving. That'll be.
No, they all they want to do. I just want to drive a motorbike. It's like okay, it's not. That's not how it works here, right?
yeah. You can't just sit on traffic on the highway in your motorbike.
Dude, their top speed in like Asia, I think it's like 75 kilometers, which is like 50 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Which is just they're just not not used to it.
Actually, it's funny they brought that up. There's a book right here that I read called Upcountry, and the guy goes to Vietnam. And
The novel,
and he goes to Vietnam, but he drives the entire country on like a 6-speed bike, going like 30 miles an hour. She goes the entire country. You couldn't even go to the state of Florida on one of those bikes, Oh,
dude, I did that traveling through Thailand, driving, you could drive the whole country on a 50cc bike.
That's wild. That's so wild. You would die if you tried to do that here. Even if you took back roads, you're gonna die. You're just gonna decide you're not gonna make it.
Speaking of back roads, I went dirt bike riding on the Thailand-Myanmar border. It was in the woods, dude, and I almost killed this Thai couple, dude. I was I'm on a 250cc dirt bike, and this is like mountainous terrain. You're climbing pretty good, dude. And I just came whipping around this corner, dude, and they fucking just wham, just tanked it. It was bad, dude. I gave him like fucking, I don't know, like $20, I guess.
Yeah, here you go. I mean,
Well, the guy's like, he's
currency
like, yo, bro,
rate's got to be a
you
lot,
gotta,
right?
he goes, you gotta give him some money, dude. I was like, yeah, dude, whatever, I guess. They just look like shocked.
So, my younger brothers, they went on a cruise a few years ago with, again, some friends of our family, and they have a bunch of kids, and they're all having a good time, and they rented. I want to say they were in Jamaica, but I might be wrong. But they like took some bikes out, and like one of the kids was just fucking around, and he wrecked the bike, broke his leg, and the bike was like mangled. Like you rent the bike from like these guys that just stand outside where the cruise docks.
Oh yeah.
And they were literally like, "You're gonna give us $5,000 right now, or you're not going back to the United States."
Yo, they don't play. That shit happened to me in Thailand, dude. Like they're like, that's why every time you go, you take a picture of whatever you're renting, dude, because they'll be like, "Yo, this wasn't here, dude. You owe me $300." Like, what? No, that shit happened to me once though.
Yeah. Is it? Would you say that it's dangerous? Like, is it like if you're like, because I know if you go to like Costa Rica and places in Brazil, even like Puerto Rico, it could be dangerous for tourists.
No place is any more dangerous than going to the I'd be more scared going to the worst neighborhood in America than anywhere in Asia, anywhere in some parts of South America. Africa wouldn't fuck with it at all. Anywhere with any kind of Arabic population wouldn't do it, just because.
So you hate Arabs, you, dude? Okay.
All right. Hey, they can come here and we can fraternize.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to get kidnapped, dude. Sorry.
But they kidnap in Costa Rica and Colombia and those places too. They kidnap children. They kidnap people.
I mean, really, what you got to look for is like what I would judge it off of is what's the hotel situation there. Are there pretty big name hotels there? Then there's an area you could probably go around and not be fucked with. Yeah,
like the Hilton's not putting a hotel in the middle of the ghettos.
You might get murdered here, so
But we have a spa and an indoor pool, heated indoor pool.
Like, okay, so I went to Cambodia. They have an okay kind of situation. They have a bunch of casinos there, but the vibe is like it's different. Yeah, I mean, Thailand's like, ooh, this is cool. Cambodia that's not the same vibe, dude. You just feel unease.
Well, and again, not to get too deep into it, but Cambodians, if you look back at their history,
horrible.
There's some messed up shit in there, man. They were eating people. I mean, it's like,
well, what happened was
true savages back in the day.
I forget what Pol Pot, who never even faced anything for his crimes. It's ironic because it feels like we're kind of heading towards that way in this country, where these academics get out of control and they think, they can tell you how to think and how to feel and what you can say, blah, blah, blah. I guess I'm not going to say it was kind of similar situation. Anyways, Pol Pot's idea was just murder anybody with a degree. Straight up. Burn all the books.
Yeah.
And that's what they did, dude. And you can go see the killing fields and shit.
Yeah.
But you can actually go there and shoot a rocket launcher and RPG for $300.
I think I saw someone do that on YouTube. I think someone from Barstool, I think the
right by the airport,
whatever his name did that. Well, also have you seen that documentary? It's slipping my mind right now. It's like The Killing something.
The Killing Fields or something?
The Art of Killing, maybe? I don't know. Drop that. So another thing I wanted to talk to you about, I know you don't, this is going to be so fun for me as we do this podcast, because I know you don't really like look at like the entertainment world. You're not up on that. You don't really wait. Like you didn't know about the Zuckerberg picture. Like I would say that.
I'm involved in the entertainment world as much as it's involved in conspiracy theories.
Okay, so you won't be heard about this thing.
This past 2 years, I've just gone so deep into history and politics. Like I've even neglected sports besides like NFL.
Oh baby, I'm watching the Red Sox game right now. It's a preseason game. That's on in the background right now.
That's what I was going to ask.
I'm ready for sports to be back.
I've seen some games. I didn't know if it was
preseason. Preseason is like, well, not preseason. They're doing like one-off games today and tomorrow against the Blue Jays, and then this weekend, Friday is like the launch of MLB, and then the weekend after is hockey, and the weekend after that's basketball. So everything's about to ramp back up, and NFL's already in. They're already doing sports, training camp.
But I just feel like it's as horrible as shit is right now, I feel like people don't need distractions. They need to be focused on what's going on right now. But That's just my opinion.
I'll take the
Except
distractions.
NFL.
I'm tired of that one's okay. Distraction. Oh, speaking of that, so you're a Patriots fan. I'm a Bucks fan. How do you feel about Mr. Brady moving on over to greener pastures?
I mean it's a solid pick. These solid defense, solid receivers. I don't know too much about their offensive line, but I mean,
it's got better. They drafted Wirfs this year, and with their first round pick, who looks like a stud. Marpet's real good. Donovan Smith's pretty good. There'll be some protection, but they weren't great last year. Jameis was under a lot of pressure, and that worries me with how old Brady is. Him getting hurt.
Yeah,
but
and that's one thing people don't realize with Brady is he had the same offensive line coach his whole career. It's the same dude.
And most of the same linemen. Most of those guys, Mankins and
up until like the last
Allen,
5 years.
Yeah, and and they always drafted well with them. They always made sure they had guys in those spots to protect because they know how valuable that is. So it's gonna be interesting to see. With the offset of that though is they have a lot of receivers that get quick routes. Like Godwin is quick. You got Brady, Gronkowski, and OJ Howard at tight end. Like that's crazy.
They still
Evans
have Mike
on the
Evans,
outside.
Right? Yeah,
Mike Evans on the outside.
He's the game changer, dude.
Well, you know what though? See, I'm not so sure because a lot of times I love Mike Evans. He's one of the. I think he's the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL.
Who's going to be their slot guy?
Godwin. That's what I'm saying. I think Godwin's going to have more. He's going to be more beneficial for Brady because Brady doesn't have that cannon to get down the field to Evans. Whereas with Winston could toss that bitch up, and Evans would go get it. So he benefited more from a QB with a strong arm. And I'm not saying Brady has a weak arm. I think he still has a good enough arm. But
it's a synergistic relationship. You need both.
Yeah,
you need the slot to open up the deep. You need the deep to open up the slot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, both. I think we have the personnel that. What are you going to do? You can't guard Evans deep, Godwin over the middle, and then Gronkowski underneath. You have to pick one. You know what I mean? And I think Brady's smart enough to know where. That was our biggest thing last year. We had the best passing offense in the league, but we turned the ball over too many times. Still have OJ Howard and Brady, who was a Pro Bowler 2 years ago at tight end. Yeah. So it's 10 touchdowns 2 years ago. So
just don't throw 30 picks, dude, and it's an improvement.
That's what I'm saying. That's the thing. Everyone's like, the defense for the Bucs is better than you think. I'm like, no, it just looks like that because the other team kept getting the ball
on the 30-yard line.
They're okay. No, they're good. They're good. They have some secondary problems. They have no safety.
Dude, they made some stops for Winston, and he still.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is the defense. The numbers looked better though because they only gave up 20 yards because the other team got the ball in the 22. You know what I mean? So it's the yardage thing isn't there. So and we didn't get a lot of turnovers either. We have probably the best like linebacker core, and maybe not the best, but one of the best with Levante David. Leading the charge there. And then you got the defensive line should be much better. You had Shaq Barrett led the league in sacks last year. He's coming back. Mm-hmm. And then corner is a little iffy, but I don't know. I think the team will be good. The division's going to be tough with the Saints. I think the Falcons will rebound. They got Gurley. They should be better.
Breeze got canceled, right? He's done, right?
Well, you know what? Jameis is the backup over there. And you know what? It's crazy. Yeah, well, it's crazy because, as bad as Jameis looked when he looked bad, when he looked good, he looked great. So it's like,
well, you know what they're going to say week one. We need more diversity at the QB position. The black guy sitting behind the white guy. He was talking shit. Swap him out week 3, dude.
All right. All right. Interesting that you brought this up. Why is it that everyone jumped? And this is a recycled, boring point to make, but why is it that everyone jumped on Drew Brees for what he said, which was wrong? He's an idiot, and he just is tone deaf. But the things that Deshawn Jackson said, he feel like he got pretty much a pass on his anti-Semitic comments.
Well, did you see that shit, how they twisted it? It was like, they're like, oh, he's anti-Semitic, but Riley Cooper could use racial slurs. He's white, doesn't get kicked off the team. So what do you do, dude? It's some kind of circular logic, dude.
I can't remember who it is, but another athlete was like, he's not wrong, though, about Deshaun Jackson. It was like, he's not wrong.
Oh, it was, who the fuck was it? Was it Steven Davis?
It was somebody. It was another
the NBA player,
athlete.
I thought it was
Steven Jackson. That was who it was. That was who it was. Steven Jackson.
But then you're just like, this guy was fighting people in the crowd, dude. Let him say what he wants, dude. Like,
I
don't even know how he got on ESPN, but he's on there.
Hey, well, the other thing is like Deshaun Jackson's now using it as like a platform to like talk about like the Holocaust, and he's like Instagram living with like a Holocaust survivor, a 98-year-old Holocaust survivor. It's like, imagine if Drew Brees did that same thing. It was like, I'm gonna talk to black people about Black Lives Matter. Just goes to the rallies and stuff. Like, it just, I don't get it. I don't get why. I think
I'm all with the sentiment of Black Lives Matter, but I don't know what the demands are anymore. I'm a little confused. I don't know. I wish there was clear cut. See, that's one of the points that's missed in the Deshawn Jackson thing. I think because I'm pretty sure he said, or it was Jackson, something about the Rothschilds. It's like, why don't they talk about that point of what they were saying?
Well,
nobody talks about
that. It's because he posted a fake quote of Hitler denouncing the Jews. It wasn't even a real quote. It didn't really happen. So there's a lot of problems with what he said.
Yeah, and then it's like he's black. It's like, can a black guy be racist? It's like nobody knows anymore. It's like we're in this upside down world, dude.
So I think that obviously we're the wrong people to talk about Black Lives Matter for pretty obvious reasons.
Obviously, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna say what it shouldn't be doing. But at the same time, so I was watching the protests in Portland last night on Twitter, and me and you come from a predominantly, melting pot area. Dude.
Oh yeah,
a lot of Spanish people, a lot of black people, big mix. And I'm like thinking, like, man, all right, I live in Colorado now, predominantly white. And I was like, Portland's kind of similar. Let me look at the statistics.
Kind of similar. It's probably way more white.
Well, I say that.
Oh, the whitest place on the planet.
I'm setting you up, Doc. So I'm like, let me look up the statistics of, what's the black population in Portland, in Washington.
Yeah.
3.4%. It ranks like 39th in the country in black population. It's like, why aren't these like rallies being held where it matters, where the black people are, in Alabama and DC?
Yeah.
And it's very confusing to me. I don't know.
And I was a little disappointed even here in Florida. It didn't seem like they really gave a shit here, which is weird because it's such a, like you said, it's like such a mix of people here. I thought there would be a little bit more. But let me tell you something funny I've never told you before. So speaking of that, I live in, I don't even know if I should say that, but I guess I will. I live in an area that's very close to where Trayvon Martin.
Are you doxing yourself, bro?
Yeah, I'm doxing myself. I live in an area very close to where Trayvon Martin was shot, that the whole thing happened, right?
Yeah.
So about 2 years ago on Twitter one night, they doxed George Zimmerman, like his where he was living. And it was like in my neighborhood. So this is at like midnight and this came out. I'm like, oh, I want to check this out, right? I want to see if this guy lives here, right? I'm not going to do anything about it. But I mean, this was over like a course like 15, 20 minutes. I just drove past and it was already a dangerous situation. So like, yeah, there was cars out front of his house, like very quickly. So I think it ended up that
at Trayvon Martin's old house? Or
no, at George Zimmerman's new address.
Oh, dude,
where he lived.
Fuck that guy. That guy's an actual racist, dude. Like,
that's a whole different story. But
I know.
The point I was trying to make was that people in this area do give a shit about those kind of politics, and it was interesting to me that Black Lives Matter hasn't really taken hold here in Orlando. But who knows? Maybe I'm just not seeing it. I did see some protesting. I know that one of the cops that killed George Floyd actually lived in like Windermere, and they were protesting outside his house. But I don't even know if he was there.
Yeah. Well, what I recommend for everybody, dude, is what will really give you an insight into, the whole police brutality thing is the Rogan podcast with Michael Brooks. You've seen that one? Former Baltimore cop.
R.I.P. Oh, not that Michael Brooks. Okay.
No. Michael Brooks is, I think that's his name. He's a former Baltimore cop. He basically tore up his shoulder, couldn't take a corner in a squad car without his shoulder falling out of the socket. So he pretty much just went ham and was like selling out, dude. And just kind of describing how the system is literally inherently racist. Even if you're not racist, you are like forced to be because of the system.
Just like podcasting.
Exactly, right? Yeah. Yo, do you follow that Rogan talks about that what is it, Titiana fucking
the guy that's really a girl?
Yeah, dude.
Or the girl that's really a guy. Sorry. He pretends to be a girl or whatever. No, I don't follow that stuff. I think he had some stuff in his background that wasn't so great.
But some of the tweets are just they're
great.
Dude.
I mean it's
right,
it's just crazy to me.
The pinned tweet. I've written a book for children. It's called My First Little Book of Intersectional Activism. The next generation must be taught to think exactly like me. Pre-order it immediately.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy because there's so many people that are like that on Twitter where like they should be just more famous. The tweets are gold, and and if Twitter's free, it's crazy to me that those people aren't more famous and more popular or don't use it to make money.
I want to ask you about this. I mean, this is kind of I don't know, whatever, touchy. I guess it's a touchy subject. I don't know.
Oh boy.
So Jamel Hill from ESPN.
Oh boy, here we go.
Did you read this tweet from the other day?
That if you like Donald Trump, you're a racist.
Yeah, no wiggle room.
No way around it. No wiggle room. Yeah.
No wiggle room. So, like,
Yeah.
does that mean black people who voted for Donald Trump are racist and don't know it against themselves? Or
I think that's I think that's what she's saying.
I mean,
I think that's the point she's making. It's just
Yeah.
all right. It's so crazy to me that you can. I don't even know how to word this.
So this Tatiana McGrath, she retweeted that. She goes, or he or whatever. I've always said that Donald Trump only won because we didn't call people racist often.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's not make that mistake again.
Yeah. Well, so this is the thing, right? It's like racism is like, part of the problem is when you're saying that one group is one way, using like stereotypes like we did earlier as a joke, but to like basically throw a huge blanket on people like, oh, all of these kind of people do these kind of things. Isn't that the same thing? Isn't that what she's saying? The same thing?
Yeah. It's replacing one racism for another racism.
If you move the words around, you can make it, however you want to make it. So,
well, I mean, this is what the CIA and everybody has done for years, is to divide people, and that's how they control people. So,
well, I'll tell you, if there was ever a time that I can't remember a time where we were more divided as a nation, as a world. Even I honestly, in my lifetime, I can't remember a time when many people hated everyone.
In China with the Uyghur population?
Mm-mm.
You didn't see that shit?
Mm-mm.
Somebody put a drone over it, and it looks like modern.
Oh yeah. I did see that. I didn't know. See, that's the thing. I see stuff all the time. I still know what it is.
Loading them into train cars, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder where we've seen that before.
Yeah. Hey, all right. So I got a personal announcement. So I've never seen the movie. Man, this is really not going the place I thought it would for episode 1. But here we are. So I had never seen Schindler's List. Right.
I haven't seen it either.
It's a great movie. It's probably with all this quarantine time, what I've really been doing is I've been going through like the list of greatest movies of all time and just picking the ones I haven't seen. What's that?
Did you make out during it? Sorry, that's a Seinfeld reference.
Oh yeah. So no, I mean, I have a whole nother thought on that too. But so basically, I've been going through the movie. So I was like, oh, Schindler's List. I've never seen it. It's a classic. It's a amazingly made movie. Steven Spielberg's probably, I think, his best movie of all of them. So I recommend you watch it. Wow. Hot take: Schindler's List is good. But this is where I was going with this.
Huh? I mean, whew.
Yeah,
you guys got some.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it really is. But this is more about me, right?
Okay.
So
I love to see people talk about Schindler's List and make it about themselves.
That's what I'm doing right now. So I watched it and I didn't cry one time, and I don't think I've ever cried watching a movie, but I was more like, oh, this is hard to watch. Like, oh, this is tough to watch because it's very graphic and it does portray a pretty accurate. I don't know. I wasn't there, but it seems like a pretty accurate version of like the tragedy that took place there in Poland during the Holocaust. But I didn't cry, and at no point was I even close to crying. Right, and then 2 days later, I watched a movie that I had never seen. That's on that list, The Green Mile. And
yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, and I did cry. But it wasn't at a point where I should have cried. It was a terrible part of the movie. I'm not even gonna say which part, but there's a part where I was what's going on? Yeah. So that's where I'm at right now.
I think I know what part, dude.
Yeah. Well, it was sad. What do you want me to do? I'm an emotional guy.
Well, one of the things I read this book. What is it? Man's Search for Meaning. It's about this dude
deep.
He was in the Holocaust, dude. He was in a concentration camp. And he talks about how, like, it got to the point where, like, they were just having so much crazy, family members are getting murdered left and right. They're seeing the most horrific shit you've ever seen in your life. And he's like, he was just standing there and just started hysterically laughing. He's like,
what?
Because you just, it's incomprehensible, dude. You don't know what even emotion to feel anymore. Yeah. He's like, you just start laughing because it's just like, you can't. That's it. You can't comprehend it.
I hear you. I had a similar moment. I told you I bought that TV, that big TV, and I went to put it on the wall, and like the wall, like I thought it took me all day. It was like 6 hours to mount this fucking TV, and I finally get it up there. It's all I use the stud finder.
It's a good segue to your TV.
Yeah, well, listen. So at one point, I went to put it up, and the anchors came out right away, and the TV almost fell and broke, and I couldn't help but laugh. So I know that guy's pain. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. we're one and the same, basically.
Yeah.
You know,
you were pretty much on that train, dude. It's the same shit.
Oh man.
Oh God. Woo.
All right, so let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up with two things I want to talk about. The first thing is going to be, do you know anything about this Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith thing that's going on?
Yeah, she's like banging that young guy or whatever.
Right. So it came out like a week or so ago that she was sleeping with this rapper Augusta Alsina. Alsina.
At first I thought it was
August,
a chick, dude.
August
Alsina.
Alsina. That would be hot. But August Alsina was.
But it's not out of the realm.
No, it's not. But he did an interview where he said that not only was he sleeping with Jada Pinkett Smith, but that Will Smith gave him his blessing. Like, yeah, go ahead, whatever. And then Jada Pinkett Smith came back and said, no one gives the blessing but me, And then they did this, like, they have a show called Red Table Talk, Jada Pinkett Smith. So they had Will and Jada go on it together to, like, clear the air or whatever. And they were like, oh, we've been divorced forever. But this is the best part, right? You've seen Bad Boys, right?
Which one?
Any of them. They're like a little saying, him and Martin Lawrence is ride together, die together, bad boys for life, right? And they do like a little thing. Yeah. Will and Jada are talking about how their marriage is like falling apart and they're going to get divorced or whatever and all this stuff. And then they look at each other and they say, we ride together, we die together, bad marriage for life. They say it together and they do a fist pound. Yeah, it's pretty cringy. But Will Smith basically said that, he wasn't getting cooked. It wasn't like that. And, they're back together now, which is even weirder. The crazy thing is that rapper August Alsina is like the age of Jaden Smith, their son. It was like their son's friend or something. So
that's probably the weirdest thing going on in Hollywood. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
That's deep down the rabbit hole. Yeah.
Did you see what was it? YMH where Josh Potter was talking about that?
And I'm way behind.
Oh my God! He goes. Some say he kept pushing it, dude. He's like, some say maybe he's just tired of the woman or something like that. Talking about Will Smith or something like that. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Well, all right. So the other thing that I wanted to touch on with that was interesting. I wouldn't say we can get into the conspiracies now. We'll start with this. So I didn't really get a deep dive on this, but I did listen to somebody talk about this. Is it Corey Hartman? The one that made that documentary?
That's Corey Feldman. But
Corey Feldman. I'm sorry. It's Corey Hart.
Or his friend that was molested with him. Corey Hart.
Corey Hart, right? No, Corey Hart's like a baseball player. I don't know. Anyways, Corey Feldman.
It was the other Corey.
I saw a pretty convincing thing that it's one of those situations where maybe he's the one that's the pedophile. Because, all right, so Michael Jackson, when he was getting accused, Corey Feldman was like his biggest, staunchest supporter. And they hung out like when they were kids. When he was a kid, he would sleep at Michael Jackson's house or whatever. And it seemed like at the time it would be like, okay, he just didn't want people to know that Michael Jackson was banging him. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want people knowing that either. You know what I'm saying? So that made sense. But even in his adult life, even after Michael passed and stuff, he was very adamant that they never had any kind of sexual relationship. And that he said Michael was innocent.
Macaulay Culkin said the same thing.
So maybe Macaulay Culkin's raping kids too. Maybe everybody's raping kids. With the way things are going right now, it wouldn't shock me.
I've actually changed my thoughts on Michael Jackson since all this shit has kind of come out. I think maybe Michael Jackson was actually trying to protect the kids from these freaks in Hollywood. I don't know. Either way, there's something going on. Have you seen that Open Secret documentary?
Is that which one is that?
Dude,
is it the one?
Rough. Stomach turning. It's about where they had this like kids agency. And all these,
yeah.
That's a rough one, dude.
I saw that a while back, maybe like a year ago. So I don't remember all the details of that one. I didn't see the Corey Feldman one, but there was a lot of weird shit going on with how
the Corey Feldman one. I didn't watch it either because he was talking about it so much, and I thought there was going to be a lot more names involved when he did finally release them.
Wasn't it just basically Charlie Sheen? It was just like, yeah,
Yeah, it was like 4 people and like a manager, which I'm not discrediting it. Like that sucks.
No,
Like,
for sure.
but I'm
There's a
not
lot
trying
of
to know. It's
there's a
like
lot of stuff.
it's like trying to bring down the dude on the fucking street corner. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that, dude. I want
Yeah,
to bring down the kingpin, dude.
yeah, yeah. It's like you got the map with all the pins in it, and there's like the guy at the top. It's just a question mark. You know, like
Yeah, exactly.
who is that? Who is that?
Yeah, who
You
the
know?
fuck is that? Yeah. Either way, that person is one step removed from Epstein, so I don't know where they're
Yeah,
at.
that's true. That's true. All right, so give me. All right, so we really do have to go. So give me in 5 to 10 minutes. Convince me of the Wayfair thing.
I'm not going to convince you of anything. Like, here's the deal.
Give me your thoughts then. How about that?
I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. I'm here to just encourage people to research and form their own opinion. The biggest problem we have is that people don't even know how to form their own opinion. They just regurgitate what they see on TV or what they see. You know what I'm saying? It's very frustrating. Dude, I posted, that CIA director in the fucking 70s literally telling how they shaped the media and how they he had over 400 journalists on his payroll. He was like, or, what did he say? He put it so like CIA-ish. He says, or we look for human vulnerabilities, blackmail. And he's like, then we can just say, yo, put this story next Tuesday. And that's how we do it. Like that's the biggest issue is like, I don't personally know what's true and what's not, but the fact that we can't even talk, like even question about anything, that's the problem. And the fact that people are so naive to the fact that the government would lie to you and that propaganda doesn't exist here. Propaganda does exist, and it's very, very good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they've been doing it for a long time, and with the internet,
a long time since the beginning of human history, dude.
Exactly. But it doesn't even have to be losing my voice a little bit. It doesn't even have to be propaganda. It can just be something where they flood it with so much information at one time. You don't know what to focus on. You don't know what's real, what's not.
Well,
they call it like misinformation.
That's what Max Kaiser says, bro. He goes, mix the real with the fake. There you go. That's propaganda.
Yeah,
dude.
now you know. Now you know. What you can't tell what's what. And I think there is a lot of that going on. Where it was funny how like when the coronavirus thing was really starting to pop off, and the country wasn't taking it serious because I don't think anybody was really wanting or prepared. It was one of those things like as long as if I don't have to wear a mask, then it's not real kind of thing. But as soon as that happened, they started dropping these little UFO videos on online that the CIA said they looked into, and that alien. There was at one point I saw a story that they basically said they found like another dimension. That like NASA said they found.
That's multi-dimensional theory. There's 11 dimensions.
Yeah. Okay, let's stick in this one for today.
When you look at quantum,
we don't want to do quantum theory on this one.
Look, if people want to look into so there's this thing on Audible. It's called the Great Courses, right? And there's one on ancient history, and they do, eventually they get to the Roman Empire part, and it would literally freak you out how similar the Roman Empire is to how America operates. I mean, that's what our system is based off of. That's where Senate comes from.
Yeah.
But, if you really want to learn how nefarious, like this is what I tell my mom about is evil people didn't stop being born in the last 200 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Literally Roman empires that would gallivant around the city in the middle of the night and just murder people for fun. Those people didn't stop existing.
Some of that, but the thing is, a lot of that is circumstance and how they're raised. Like the culture is different now. Back then they did that because back then they did that because their fathers did that and because their fathers did that. There's a similarity.
No. Listen. That's the thing. We're talking about the kids of great leaders that they grew up in the system. They think they can do whatever they want.
Well, okay, but part of that is that those people that did great things, they also did terrible things. Yeah, but they also did terrible things, like probably slept with children and molested children. If you look at even the forefathers of our country, we're finding out now. I mean, not finding out, but it's becoming more of an issue that they were all owned slaves and were racist pieces of shit and beat their wives and things like that. Then they're not being glorified because those people, when you look at one person's story, if their story was that they, like Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, you don't look at all the other stuff. That's just what he's known for. Same thing happens with those, and even more so because there's less information to even go off of. But what I was going to say is the similarities with, the culture and the bloodline and doing as your father's father's father. There's a real similarity with the police force. a lot of police officers, fathers were police officers, and their fathers were police officers, and they were racist pieces of shit. And then their sons are racist. You know what I mean? It goes down. Obviously not all cops are racist pieces of shit. But if your dad is a racist piece of shit and he was a cop, then you're going to be a cop. You're going to be a racist piece of shit cop too. So,
well, yeah, I mean,
that is one of those jobs
it's all tough for me to even, judge people in the middle, because I think it starts with the top, and I think the top is so corrupt and so fucked up that it just trickles. Now that's a real trickle down theory. When there's no accountability at the top, there ain't gonna be no fucking accountability at the bottom.
Of course not. It's just like if you worked at any job and your boss just fucked off and didn't give a shit, you're gonna fuck up and not give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
exactly, dude. It's
just how it goes. But all right, we should wrap it up. We should wrap it up for episode 1. You have anything you want to say before we sign off?
I don't got shit, man. Let's just
Truth is out there.
see where it goes, and congratulations on your future cancellation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. So this one's only it's a little bit under an hour. I think it's like 55 minutes. We're going to try to do like somewhere between 60 to 90 each episode. We're going to try to do it twice a week. We'll do one that'll come out on Monday and one that'll come out on Fridays. But just stay tuned. Things could change, There
Email
might not
us
be an episode.
Any topics you want to talk about.
Yep. Podcastscam@gmail.com. The YouTube page again is Scam Podcast, and the Twitter, which is most important if you want to stay up to date, is scam_podcast at twitter.com. I'm Josh. He's Malcolm, and we'll see you guys next week. See you.